From hinting at joining bare-knuckle fighting instead of MMA, to stacking up injuries and not being able to withstand returning to fighting, this is the real reason why Conor McGregor won't return to the UFC. I have to start off with the wild ride that went down at BKFC 41, where Conor showed up out of nowhere and stole the spotlight. The main event was over in a jiffy when Mike Perry took down Luke Rockhold, forcing him into early retirement. And just when the audience thought the night couldn't get any crazier, McGregor struts his stuff into the ring, rocking a BKFC title belt like he owned the place. He then had an intense face-off with Perry, where McGregor made it clear that he ain't planning on retiring anytime soon, and that he's definitely down to fight Perry. McGregor talked about how he loved not just the BKFC setup, but also the matchups and the storytelling, and that the atmosphere had him so hooked he couldn't resist flying straight into the ring to be part of the action. He was giving props to every fighter in there, and because he already had that belt, he went off at Perry, asking, "How did I just show up and I'm already the champ?" Looks like Conor's pretty confident, but it's not just him who's got something to gain here. BKFC would be straight up crazy not to hit him up with an offer. Just think about it. Conor's name alone brings in the big bucks. He's a megastar, and people pay extra to see him fight. BKFC would be selling out arenas left and right, and tickets would be flying off the shelves. And let's not forget about the views they're gonna rack up. So why wouldn't BKFC hit him up with an offer? It's a no-brainer. McGregor brings in the hype, the money, and the attention, so it's a win-win for both of them. It seems like his heart isn't set on returning to the UFC at all, especially with how much he's been enjoying his time off lately. McGregor was seen partying it up, living the high life on his luxurious yacht with his fiancée, Dee Devlin. He was enjoying himself in Ibiza and posting pictures and videos for everyone to see. And let's just say, some of these posts caused quite a stir. In classic McGregor fashion, one particular post got fans doing double takes. McGregor was leaning back in the picture, but the bottom half of his body was mysteriously cut out of the frame. To make things even more interesting, he captioned it saying that when you're getting it, get it on the top floor of the triple deck. I'll leave it up to you to guess what exactly he meant by it. But that's not all. There was also another really short video which slightly showed the top of Dee's head before panning to a view of the sea from his yacht. Fans couldn't help but connect the dots, and one straight up commented, asking if Conor McGregor really just posted himself getting head on his Instagram story. Talk about getting straight to the point. And another fan summed it up perfectly, commenting, "Yeah, he's not coming back, is he?" And honestly, why on earth would McGregor ever want to return to the UFC when he's having an absolute blast during his time off? He's sailing around the world on his fancy yacht, and when you're living your dream life like that, why would you want to go back to all that training, those intense fights, and all the pressure that comes with being in the UFC? Let's be honest, Conor's main motivation to go into those fights was to make money. But it seems like he has enough of it right now with his whiskey brand. Let's rewind a bit. Before his fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov, when McGregor became the ultimate walking advertisement for his whiskey brand, Proper Number 12. I mean, you could spot him in every press conference holding that bottle like it was his baby or something. That man knows how to promote, that's for sure. Oh, and he didn't stop at just showing off the whiskey. He also wanted everyone to know the story behind the name, and said he named it after Crumlin, a town in Dublin 12, a place close to his heart, because that's where he learned how to fight, so you can see why he's got a soft spot for the stuff. And here's the thing, when Proper Number 12 finally hit the shelves for a trial run in 2018, it flew off faster than McGregor's left hook. It was sold out completely. It was off the shelves so quick that Tesco Ireland had to put a limit on the number of bottles a customer could buy. They could only grab 2 at a time, and it only went uphill for him from there. He even spilled the beans on the official figures for Proper Number 12's first year in business, and it's higher than you think. $1 million? $2 million? Nah. It was more than $1 billion in revenue. The American market went absolutely crazy for this whiskey. Within the first 10 days of trading, they sold enough to cover 6 months worth of stock. And within the first 6 months, they sold a crazy 2.4 million bottles. Can you imagine the party that would throw? Not only that, the brand also got sold in a deal which was rumored to be worth $600 million. And even though McGregor sold his stake, he's still the face of Proper Number 12. It's no wonder McGregor might think twice about stepping back into the UFC. I mean, who needs to get punched in the face when you can sit back, sip your whiskey, and watch the cash roll in? The man's got enough businesses to keep him booked and busy, and that includes his fashion deals too. Before he faced off against Floyd Mayweather back in 2017, McGregor was seen strutting around in suits crafted by the legendary David August Heil. This guy is the go-to fashion guru for Hollywood big shots. I'm talking Will Smith, Robert Downey Jr., and now, Conor. McGregor even stitched the words "F*** you" into the lining of one of his suits, so you can tell him and Heil are pretty good friends. During their fittings, Conor and David casually talked about collaborating on a fashion line, but then they actually got serious about it and went ahead with the plan. The Drop One Lookbook collection was released, and it included limited edition t-shirts, hoodies, and caps. And you won't believe this, but those babies flew off the shelves super fast. In just one day, they were completely sold out, leaving fans practically begging for more. Heil couldn't believe the hype either, especially since they didn't even promote the collection, except to their immediate followers and Conor's fanbase. That's the power of McGregor's fanbase, combined with some slick fashion. His empire is growing, and it's estimated that his clothing line reels in $62 million in profit every year. And if you think that's a big amount, wait till you hear about his side hustles. Back in 2018, McGregor renewed his contract with Monster Energy Drinks, and that deal still makes him rack up almost $1 million a year just for being associated with an energy drink. Reebok also pays him $5 million each year just to have him as one of their brand ambassadors. And it's not just that. He's also got his stocks in the tech industry, investing in stuff like the Mac Talk app, which lets fans download McGregor's sound bites at the low price of $1 per audio. That's right, if you want a piece of McGregor's voice, you gotta pay up. And trust me, people are doing it. So if he's bringing in the money without the help of the UFC, he doesn't even need to return anymore. But money talk aside, Conor's got some serious injury baggage that might just be too much for him to handle for future fights. Let's not forget that when McGregor faced Chad Mendes in a featherweight bout at UFC 189, he found out he tore 80% of his ACL 14 weeks before that. He could barely walk, barely kick, and it was his second time going through that. Yeah, remember when he faced off Max Holloway, who tore Conor's ACL during the match? He's fought on one leg before, but now, with his latest leg-shattering incident, it's questionable if he can make a return to the UFC. We all saw that gruesome leg snap he suffered against Dustin Poirier in 2021. It just looked like it hurt. But here's the thing. He mentioned that no one talked about the fact that he already had a messed up body, even before that fight. Back in 2018, right before his showdown with Khabib, McGregor had another major injury, where he wrecked the metatarsal bones in his foot, and it messed up his game big time. He still went ahead and fought Khabib for the world title with that injury, and ended up losing the match. But that recent leg break against Poirier is probably the worst injury he's ever faced, and it's kept him out of action for almost 2 years. His injuries have taken a toll on him, and he's even admitted that he won't be the same after all the damage he's endured. Guess it really might just be time for McGregor to hang up those gloves. So, from his injuries stacking up, and him not being able to fight anymore, to him potentially making a switch to BKFC instead, this was the real reason why Conor McGregor won't be returning to the UFC.